Halloween night had always been special for Daniel's family. Every year, his mother would go all out, carving pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns, stringing orange lights across the porch and covering the house in fake cobwebs and skeletons. The smell of roasted chicken, pumpkin pie, and hot cider always drifted through the air, wrapping the house in warmth and comfort. For Daniel, Halloween wasn't just about candy or costumes. It was about belonging. It was the one night a year his family gathered without distractions, laughing, sharing stories, and enjoying the magic of the season. But this year, something felt different. The decorations were perfect, just like always. The pumpkins smiled their crooked grins, and the candles flickered against the walls. But beneath the glow, there was a heaviness Daniel couldn't explain. His mother moved around the kitchen silently, her lips pressed tight, not humming the way she usually did. His father sat at the table, eyes on his drink, avoiding Daniel's gaze. And his sister Natalie, the one who used to dress up with him as kids, the one who once called him her best friend, sat whispering to her husband, a faint smirk tugging at her lips. Daniel brushed the unease away. "It's just my imagination," he told himself. "It's Halloween. It's supposed to be fun." The dinner table looked festive. Plates of food gleamed under the candlelight. Pumpkin bread rolls shaped like little pumpkins, a golden roasted chicken, bowls of candy scattered around for later. But when the family gathered around, the silence was louder than the creaks of the old house. Daniel shifted in his seat, trying to break the tension. "So, Mom, the decorations look amazing this year," he said softly. His mother forced a smile, but her eyes dropped back to her plate. Natalie gave a little laugh, not a warm one, but sharp, mocking. "Yeah, she went all out. Shame it might be the last time we all eat together." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean by that?" Natalie didn't answer. Instead, she leaned back in her chair, folding her arms, her eyes gleaming with something Daniel couldn't recognize. The uneasiness in his chest grew heavier. Something was coming. He just didn't know what. The meal began, but not a single bite felt normal. The chicken was warm, the cider sweet, the pumpkin bread soft. Yet Daniel couldn't taste anything. The air was heavy, almost suffocating. Natalie kept whispering to her husband, her laughter sharp and cold, echoing against the walls. Daniel's father cut his food slowly, carefully, like a man buying time, and his mother's hands trembled whenever she reached for her glass. Finally, Natalie set her fork down with a loud clink. She leaned forward, her eyes fixed on Daniel. "Enough pretending," she said, her voice slicing through the silence. "It's time we told him the truth." Daniel blinked. "The truth? What are you talking about?" Natalie's lips curled into a cruel smile. "That you don't belong here anymore. That this family doesn't want you at this table." For a moment, Daniel thought it was a joke, a cruel Halloween prank. His heart raced as he looked from Natalie to his parents. "Come on. This isn't funny." But his mother kept her eyes on her plate. His father gave a slight nod. And in that silence, Daniel's world cracked. His voice shook. You're serious? You're throwing me out? On Halloween night?" Natalie folded her arms. "You've been nothing but a burden, Daniel. Always needing, always taking, never giving back. We've talked about it. We've decided. You don't belong here anymore." Her words hit harder than any ghost story ever could. Daniel's hands trembled in his lap. His chest felt tight, his throat dry. The decorations around him, the pumpkins, the spider webs, the flickering candles, suddenly seemed like a mockery of the warmth he used to know. The family he trusted, the people who raised him, the sister who once held his hand on dark Halloween nights when he was too scared to sleep, were now looking at him like he was nothing. And in that moment, Daniel realized this wasn't just a dinner, this was an execution. Daniel sat frozen, staring at the table as if it were a battlefield. The warm orange glow of the jack-o'-lanterns now seemed sinister, the flickering candlelight casting shadows across faces he once loved, Shadows that had always been friendly tonight looked like masks hiding monsters. He tried to speak, his voice barely audible. On Halloween, you choose this night. To tell me I'm not part of this family? His sister's eyes gleamed. This night is about masks, Daniel, she said almost softly, almost sweetly. And it's time you see who we really are. Daniel's chest tightened. Memories flashed through his mind, carving pumpkins with Natalie when they were kids, hiding from his parents in costumes, laughing until their stomachs hurt. All of it seemed, had been nothing but a pretense, a mask covering their true selves. His father finally spoke, his voice cold. It's for the best, son. You should move on. Daniel's world tilted. The betrayal was unbearable, a sharp, relentless pain that cut deeper than any knife. He looked at the people he had loved most, the people who should have been his safe haven, and realized they were gone. The room felt smaller, the walls pressing in. The laughter of trick-or-treaters outside grew distant and hollow. He could barely breathe. Then slowly he rose from his chair. The scraping sound against the floor felt deafening. His hands trembled, his voice cracked, but he said it anyway. On Halloween night, a day we celebrate masks. You finally showed me your real faces, and I see now. The monsters I feared as a child were never outside. They were always here sitting at this table. Natalie's smirk faltered. His parents didn't respond. Daniel felt a cold clarity settle in his chest, like ice replacing the fear. He stepped toward the door, every step echoing like a drumbeat. The wind outside rattled the windows. The shadows from the candlelight danced across the walls like specters, but Daniel didn't look back. As he reached the porch, the crisp autumn air hit his face. The children laughing in costumes ran past him, their joy a stark contrast to the darkness he had left behind. And for the first time that night he felt something familiar return, a spark of freedom. He whispered under his breath, the words almost to himself, almost a promise. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes family is the people who choose you, who stand by you, even when the masks come off, and I will find them. That Halloween, Daniel lost the family he had known all his life, but he didn't lose himself. Daniel stepped out into the cold November night. The crisp air hit his face, carrying the smell of fallen leaves and faint traces of pumpkin spice from nearby houses. Children ran past in costumes, their laughter and chatter filling the streets with joy. Trick-or-treaters clutched overflowing buckets of candy, oblivious to the heartbreak unfolding in a quiet house across the street. For a moment, Daniel simply stood there, the wind tugging at his coat, the night stretching endlessly before him. He felt a strange mixture of emptiness and relief. The family he had loved, the people who were supposed to protect him, had shown him their true faces. And while the revelation hurt more than anything he could remember, there was also clarity. He thought of the countless times he had tried to please them, tried to fit in, tried to be enough. And now he realized that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, some people are unwilling to see the truth, unwilling to love you for who you are. A shiver ran down his spine, not from the cold, but from the knowledge that he had survived something far worse than any ghost story. He had survived betrayal. Daniel took a deep breath and whispered to himself, almost like a vow, almost like a spell. Family isn't always blood. Family is the people who choose to stand by you, even when the world turns its back, and I will find them. He began walking down the quiet street, each step lighter than the last. The shadows of the night danced in rhythm with his heartbeat, but now they felt different, less threatening, more freeing. Daniel understood that this Halloween was not just the end of a chapter. It was the beginning of a new life, one where he could finally find love, loyalty, and belonging on his own terms. And as he disappeared into the night, the distant laughter of children reminded him that life goes on even after betrayal, that the scariest night, the one filled with lies, deceit, and rejection, could also be the night he discovered his inner strength. If this story touched your heart, Please like this video, share it with someone who appreciates emotional storytelling, and subscribe to Stories That Matter. Because here, we tell stories that don't just entertain. They stay with you, they move you, and sometimes they change the way you see the world.